What is going on, everyone? DJ's here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay analysis. Today, I'm bringing y'all a great game on a great map. That's right, we're not playing on Gandalf's groin, we're not playing on Trampoline Tree Trunk the Third, we're playing on a good map, Sahara. And I love Sahara for a few reasons. Number one, it's a classic. It's been around since 2021. I played Starflash on this map back in the day. One of my first 20 games, I believe, I played on this map for Starflash. It was a classic Olaf versus Max battle, grinding to the death. I believe Starflash won in that. But also, another fact. This is not your typical, oh, push all the tanks in the middle and win. No, this is not just your tank spam map. You got some artillery usage, you got some choke points, you can put artillery here, control these two properties here, you can put some artillery on the offensive, you can put some artillery on the defensive. And also, my third favorite thing about this, the middle is not that important. It's about the size. It's not just pushing all your tanks in the middle and you win. You put all your airport, your air units in the middle and you win. No, the sides have more properties. There's only 4 properties in the middle. You got 6 properties over here in the contested. Maybe even include this over there, you get 8. So this is more of a side build thing. And then you got these little corner properties, which might even induce using an APC. That's right, I said it, APC builds are a thing on this map. When I played Starflash, we did the APC opening. I built this APC over here, he built an APC over here. You get control of this corner property, it is hard to switch hands because you heal every turn, you can only attack from the mountains, it's hard to get control of that. Double is hard when you're playing as Kindle doing 3 damage Urban Blight, preventing that cap. Drake, you're using that rain, inflicting some pain. It's hard to cap these properties, so it's very hard to switch hands. So I like the APC openings, get control of these little corner cities, get that extra income. Also, you know, there's some air units as well. A little later comm tower, you don't get as early. Maybe you're getting your comm tower day 10, 11, 12. So you have some battles early on, but you might not even have that extra 10% boost going on. So these are the contested properties. These 3 over here, typically are going to get control of that one pretty easily. But these 2 over here, surrounded by roads and a little forest over there, these are the contested properties. In the middle, don't overly concern yourself with the middle. But I love this map just because of the variability. APC openings, artillery openings. You can use a recon opening as well. Look at all these roads. Look at all these shoals. Recon's gonna have a nice little field day on this map. So break the tank mold. Have some more creativity on this map. That's what I love about this map, Sahara. So now let's talk about the players briefly. We got Ainz. I don't even know what that means. I don't know if it's gibberish. It sounds like something a drunk guy says, like at a party. It's like, I wanna go home. It's like, no, you're too drunk to go. It's all gone. It's all gone. Give me the keys. That's all good. No, I don't know. Anyway, Ainz Goon, whatever the hell that means. I'm gonna call him Downey or something. I don't know. I'll come up with a new name every turn. That's how it goes typically. And then we got DaysofPlague. I think I know DaysofPlague. I think it's just Plague. He plays Tiny Wars. I think he's a Tiny Wars transplant. Plays Days of Ruin competitively, then he moved over from Days of Ruin to Advanced Wars by Web. He seemed to have transitioned pretty well because he was the top player in Days of Ruin, and he's pretty top 10, top 20 right now in Advanced Wars by Web, so he's just an overall skilled Advanced Wars player. He did the transition well. Most people go from Advanced Wars by Web to Tiny Wars, and it's a bit of a tricky transition at first, but few people can make it, but he made the opposite transition, and he's playing pretty damn well. Now let's look at that CO matchup here. Now, like I said, very contested properties over here, and they're surrounded by roads and one forest and like shoals. So you get control of those properties. It's a little hard to regain control of it if your opponent gets control of it because they're surrounded by all these little weak tiles. And also there's a sea tile here. I used to think there was a river here, so I'm like, oh, I'll just attack from the port. No, there's a sea tile right there. So you can only cross this one river to get this property. So defensive artillery aren't a terrible idea. Plopping that forest over there, plopping that forest over there. Therefore, this map can be a little bit stally, because there's not as much center bashing heads together, like warthogs fighting each other. No, it's not like that. It's more calculated. You're giving up a little inch on one side, you're giving up an inch on the other side. Typically, you're going to have the weak side over here as green, strong side over here as green. So you're going to have your 2 bases versus 1 base. It's a little hard to reinforce because that forest over there, that sea tile as well. You do have the airport reinforcement, though. In 2 turns, you will be in the thick of it. But the reason I kind of like Drake in this matchup for a few reasons. Number one, airport's pretty decent, but it's not overpowered in this matchup. It's kind of in the back middle right over here rather than forward. A lot of maps these days have airports forward so you can like reinforce quickly. But it's in the middle, and like I said, the middle's not a big deal. So typically you're going to shift it over here, or you're going to shift it down over here. So it's going to take 2 to 3 turns to reinforce. Another reason I like Drake is because it's going to get a little stally. You have these little choke points over here. Like I said, artillery proliferation can encourage a stally game. So if I'm Drake, my game plan's probably going to be get at least 2 artillery on this map, stall it around a little bit, maintain equal properties if possible, maybe go down 2k, 4k maximum if I'm Drake. Maybe you concede 2 extra properties to Kindle. She has a 4k advantage, but that Drake superpower is going to blast some Kindles out of the water. So I wouldn't be too desperate to maintain, property equality if that means conserving my units. I don't want to give up all my units and die in order to have equal properties, you know what I'm saying? So maybe you concede a property or 2 as Drake. It's a little more, you put all the onus on the Kindle to win the game rather than pushing forward boldly as Drake. So just try to maintain the status quo as Drake. Meanwhile, Kindle, you gotta plow through. You gotta get control of those contested properties. Get the corner properties. Get these extra little contested properties on both sides over there and maintain hold on them. That's the Kindle MO right there. And I would expect a Kindle to go all out on the side over here. 2 bases versus 1 base. This is where Kindle's gonna shine. The airports are a little bit weaker. She'll probably get a few copters out if I'm Kindle. The good thing about the copters, you have this little choke point. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can attack this property over here. And the only way to attack back from the anti-air is from the city. So if you can prevent their anti-air from reaching that city, you will not be able to attack that copter because it's surrounded by sea tiles and a little river tile over there. So the copters in that situation can come out good in a pinch. But as Drake, I kind of like this map, even though there is an airport and you will probably be building a copter or 2. I still kind of like Drake in this matchup, even though there's a lot of roads. I'm more of a defensive CO player. I like the super CO powers of Drake, Hawk, Olaf, the global damage CO powers. It encourages your opponent to have to force themselves. They have to outplay you. If you're playing as global damage CO, your opponent has to outplay you to win, basically. Whereas you can afford to be going equal, have nice parity the whole game. But if they don't outplay you, you're just going to beat them by using your superpowers. So, without further ado, let us begin the game. So on the top, as the gang green, we have Ainz. In the bottom, in the purple nurples, we have Plague. So, typical start so far. You get the base. Everyone knows that. Some people like to go for this early port. Others like to go for this over here and then get the chain. Look at that. Ooh, I mean, they're not going to get all 4 of these chains. You're going to have an interrupt from a recon or a tank or what have you over there. But it's still a nice chain. Some people like to go in the middle next turn and get this. I definitely prefer to go on the sides. Like I said, half the battle's in the sides. I would not go down here, or I would not go to the airport that early. You can also back cap as well. This guy chose to back cap to get the chain over here on the airport. I'm a little more of an aggressive player in this because, like I said earlier, once you get control of these properties, it's a little hard for them to change back hands, especially if you're playing versus Kindle. So if I'm Kindle, I'm definitely going hyper aggressive. I'm moving this infantry probably over here first. Let's see what Ainz or Plague does. He actually has the same thought as me. He is embracing that inner Kindle. You don't play the same game every single time on the map. It depends on your CO matchup. If I'm Kindle on this map, I'm going to adjust my game plan. I'm going to be more aggressive than I typically would. Maybe I'll lose a little bit of the income in the early game, but in the end, I need to have that income advantage. If I'm going to beat Drake down, I need to have that income advantage, because if it's completely equal, that stupid little Drake boy and stupid overalls, and he's 14 years old and he weighs 500 pounds, is going to beat you. So that's just what's going to happen. So Ainz going a little late over here, but he builds a recon. Like I said, recon, you can move over here, and I believe you can interrupt these properties in 2 turns. Look at us, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look, you can even reach that property. That's how good it is. Although a tank can easily just slap you out of the way. So I don't know if I like the recon as a Drake player on this. Like I said, as Drake, you want to be more defensive. You want to just maintain status quo. So I'm a little curious as to why he's going recon when he is the defensive CO in this matchup. Probably maybe to encourage Days of Plague to build a tank over here on his weak side, maybe, in order to delay an attack over here. I think that might be a tactic. He wants to force a tank over here, so then he has more time to capture these properties over here. Maybe that is what his end goal was. So maybe he's galaxy braining and really thinking far ahead, but who knows at this point. So Plague moving forward with this lovely, beautiful range of properties. Look at all those chainies. Look at all those chainy wainies. So see, instead of going from this port over here to go to the middle, no one gives a shit about the middle. No one's touching the middle. Like I said, middle, you're gonna get your properties. It's gonna be fine. If they overextend in the middle, that's fine on them. Like, if green gets greedy and tries to get these 2 properties, he's gonna get kerplowed. Like, it's just way too close for reinforcement zone. It's 2 turns away. It's 3 turns away from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like I said, you're barely out of range. So green is not gonna be able to maintain these 2 properties long term. Green knows that, purple knows that. No one's going really crazy in the middle. That's why I like this map. I'll say it again, and I'll say it again. Moves the recon over here. I mean, it could go to middle, but yeah, it could interrupt. So it did force the tank out, so he got what he wanted. He could pop his recon on this property right here and then have the tank follow up. I actually kind of like that. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he could induce a tank. Yeah, put the recon here, interrupt that cap. That's what I like. Put the recon on this city over there. That's actually pays for itself. The tank won't even reach it. That's actually a pretty decent start with the recon. I like what I'm seeing so far. So, not bad ideas by Ainz. You know, I'm not expecting to see recons too much on this map. I love the APCs, like I said, but yeah, so we can interrupt that and attack from the shoal over there. So that's not a bad move at all. Although, it opens up a tank war in the end. And then the tanks will be there long term. Okay, maybe it was not a great idea. For some reason, I was 1 turn ahead. I thought he had an extra turn. So he actually shifts to the middle over here where there is no tanks at all. And he probably can get a free hit on this infantry over there, or an infantry over here, or not over there, but up here, because tank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 won't be able to reach that. But I don't really like this going in the middle. I kind of, even though you kind of kill yourself to this tank over there, it makes a tank stay there long term. And you're not going to be able to get this property for a very long time. Because these infantry are harder to reinforce. And like I said, once you get an artillery or something locking down here, it's very hard to get these 2 properties. Same goes over here. So, I don't know. I don't like that recon wasting times. If you're going to build that early recon, I think it was a day 4 recon. Let me go back and check. It was actually day 4 recon. So not a day 3 recon where you're like all in. But, you know, a little... You want to get something out of it more than just, you attack on that little guy over there. Like, no, it's not worth it. So... Let's see what he can do with the recon. The tank actually moves back, curiously enough. He's going to the middle. I probably would have just plopped on the city to defend everything, to be honest. But, a little curious. I guess he's just following the recon. That tank is literally, like, his one job is keeping an eye on that freaky reeky. Like, I got my eye on you, little sick cluck. See, I monitor myself. YouTube, don't kill me yet. So... Recon goes in, beep, beep. Look at that trade, though. It's just 4 damage. You take 1 back. No one has the comm towers. Like I said, it's a delayed comm tower map. You're talking about day 10, 11, 12. You're going to have the comm towers, so... Not really that strong early fights. The tank goes down. See, you lose the tank pressure over here, but I'm assuming he's actually going to bring this tank back. So he's going to capture here, and he's going to bring this tank back on the city over there. That's what I assume he's going to do. So it's not really a threat. Exactly. This is like so obvious. And this recon is not really doing any work. You're gonna move this tank up here and this recon's basically useless. So the recon early buy, it forced a weak side tank, but didn't really accomplish much. I wouldn't do it in retrospect. I would have bought an APC, I would have bought an artillery, what about really anything else? An interrupt over here, not a favorable trade for purple, but if it maintains this long-term pressure over here, it will be worth it. So he probably will be able to deny this property. Typically, you don't get all 3 of these properties. Typically, you're gonna fight over them. Maybe one stays neutral the entirety of the game. Maybe one goes to enemy hands during the entirety of the game. Typically, as Kindle, though, you're going to be able to stop that. Whereas green, you're not going to be able to stop that. Because if you attack that infantry, there's a tank hit coming. And it's going to knock you down 1 HP using that Kindle City bonus right there. So that's an early income advantage for purple incoming very shortly. So green's going to try to capture that property. He retreats his tank to the middle where no one gives a shit about it. Where it's weak as all be. And he goes triple tankies. Like I said, I like early artillery, especially on the strong side. This mech is also very strange. I haven't seen a mech on this map in a long time, unless you go APC. I like it with the APCs because you can plop it over here in the mountains. But otherwise, like, this mech's a little questionable. I guess he just wanted to use all this income. I don't know if it's... I'm probably going to regret that mech buy. He could have saved up for something a little bit better. But... Actually, he went for a base skip to get this mech, because if he didn't build a mech, he would have been able to afford something this turn. So that's a little bit curious. I don't know. Interesting move by Plaguey, but sacrificing this recon over there in the middle, like I said, long term, not going to be able to do it. So that's just a bad move right there. Tank gets a kill. There's no way this tank's going to attack these tanks over there. Makes no sense. So there's no way green's going to get into a tank war there. He's just going to lose long term. Maintaining the pressure over there is bringing forward the artillery. I like Days of Plague's play a lot more right so far than Ainz Goon. Goonie over here, I don't know what he's doing. Downey, whoa, what? Man, Plague is base skipping. He's got that Tiny Warriors mentality. He's been base skipping twice so far. Imagine if he didn't buy that mech, he could have built 2 infantry during this time period. Instead of spending 3k, spent 1k, then he's that extra 2k to spend on those 2 base skips. So, a little curious right there. I do like his playstyle so far, but I do not like these base skips. So will Green be able to capture this property, combine right there, probably weaken off this a bit? I don't know then long term though. I don't think he's going to be able to maintain that property. And it's looking like he's not even going to get this corner property, whereas Purple is easily going to get that corner property and hold on to it in the entirety of the game. If Purple gets that, Green's never getting that, because he's going to leave his infantry right there with the city bonus, his Kindle, and you're never getting that property. And that's an easy 2k advantage right there if you control both of these properties. So Plague so far looking pretty damn good. Greeny doing a little shift over here. There is a little hole in the armor. Gets a little free hit, but it's not really that consequential. He killed his recon to draw this tank over there. I don't really understand this play over here by Purple moving his tank over there. But then we have a long-term not giving up, or not getting this property. Not going for the combine and the cap, but rather using his tank over there. I don't know about that, because you're going to move your artillery here and you're going to attack with a tank probably, and you have all these infantry walls to worry about. So we'll see what Purple does. Is he going to go hyper aggressive for the tank attack and then move his artillery forward, or is he going to have to delay a little longer because that mech is completely out of position? We have an early artillery buy, or anti-air buy over here. Finally have an artillery as Drake. I would have built an artillery day like 5, 6, 7. We're at day 8 now, or 9 now. Like, I would have liked to have pressure. You're going to have an infantry advantage over here. Look, he's got, what, 6 infantry? And against 2 infantry, that's just asking for artillery. You're going to have a great infantry wall. You're going to have an artillery plot behind that. You're going to take all the properties. You might even threaten an HQ cap, and you are looking good to go. But you have these little tanks over here. They're not as good. The walls aren't going to be as effective. Hell, you can even smoke out this infantry over there and the property in the corner using an artillery if you really want to use the artillery. So I would have liked to see an earlier artillery. Even Purple's over here was a little bit later, but it's still better than Ainz. So I don't know what I'm seeing so far. Finally, we have the first comm tower taken. So Plague is going to have a nice little boom boom. He's going to attack with the tank there, like I thought. Have a nice artillery wall behind it, or infantry wall. I mean, Green will easily actually be able to reach this artillery. It's not going to be very difficult at all, but what's the cost? You're going to be attacked by a copter, you're going to be attacked by 2 tanks, you're going to attack maybe even a mech in a couple turns. So I don't think I would attack that artillery. Just because an artillery can be hit does not mean you're a bull that sees red and like you don't just charge for an artillery. It's 6k, for God's sake. Are you going to sacrifice 2 tanks to get 6k in damage? No, and you're not even going to kill it too. I mean, it's on a shoal. You're going to do like 8 damage. You're going to do like 5k damage. And it's going to go back and heal. You don't want to sacrifice the entirety of your army to hit an artillery. So I would not attack that artillery. I would back the blup up if I'm Green here. I am Drake. I need to survive. Hell, I'm not getting that property. But, you know, I'm doing pretty decent otherwise than that. I don't know what the kills to death is right now, but I think it's 0 right now. 1, 0, 0. So we're dead even in kills to death. Sorry, except for the recon. That got his recon. But so far, so even. So if I'm Green, this is the make or break. I do not think he's a higher level player. A lot of lower level players would go and just go attack into that. I didn't expect it. This artillery, or the anti-air, is completely out of position over here. He might build his own copter soon, to be honest. I know he's Drake, but it takes so long for this anti-air to reinforce and defend against air units. It might be easier just to build his own copter. So we'll see what he does right here. He actually moves his anti-air south, which is implying that he's going to build either an anti-air here, or he's going to build a copter this turn, because he has literally nothing for this copter over here that can start getting into the fray very, very soon. He does build his own copter. It's a Drake copter. He doesn't have a comm tower yet, so he's going to have 80% attack, soon to be 90, which is not terrible. I mean, if he attacks first against an opposing Kindle copter, he will win the engagement, assuming he attacks first. So even if it has 80% attack or 90% attack, it is still enough of a deterrent that it will be effective against those Kindle copters. So he retreats, he actually combines units, builds his artillery, defensive artillery. He's going to put this artillery probably on this port right here or in this forest and maybe defend that. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe he has ideas of this forest. Maybe eventually trying to get control of this property over here. I think that property is going to remain neutral for a long time. Kindle can try to get it, but Drake's probably going to defend it with infantry. So I think it's going to remain neutral. I don't think either side's going to get that. Maybe for the entirety of the game, it's just like that sometimes. So Goonie, Ainz Goon, being defensive now. Earlier it was crazy. Recon attack, recon go, take attack. Like, chill out, man. You're Drake. You're starting to finally understand the roles, the CEO roles, the gender roles. Big mean Kindle. Silly old Drake. You know, you get your roles down. So that's a nice little plopper right there. That's a nice plopper. There's a river right there. You have to go there's a sea tile, so you have to go all the way around to attack. You have to go all the way around over here. You can just put like an infantry with 1 HP over there, and it's enough of a deterrent. And if you get even near this artillery, you got some cities over here that are going to cause a lot of problems. So I'm expecting Plague to put a lot of pressure. He has double artillery now. That is scary. If I'm Goon over here, I'm like, oh shit. 2 artillery, copters. Look at all these tanks. I mean, I'm pretty equal in terms of tanks, but like, it's scary. I mean, he has 2 tanks over here, so there seems to be a clash on either side. They're going to have some strong side battles versus some weak side battles, so we'll see what comes to it. But Plague doing a pretty decent defense over here now. He has ideas as well, plopping that artillery right here, defending these 2 properties. This one could go under Green's control. It won't be easy to get under control, especially playing versus Kindle when he has those urban blights up his sleeve that he can pop at any time. So we'll see if he's able to actually get some parity. Interesting move right here. The copter attacking a tank on a city. That's allowing this copter to attack that copter and get a one-shot. And I don't... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's no way an anti-air will reach that. So that is a suicided copter. Unless he builds like a cruiser or some shit. Like, that copter just suicided itself. So I do not agree with that move right there. A very strange move by Goon. He's going for this corner property, but it's going to be near impossible for him to get control of that. He is pushing pressure on this side over here. Rather than going for the jugular, he seems to be working up the sides. Doing a little sweep down here, rather than going straight for the throat. So, interesting move. Has a nice little artillery wall. Oh, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. This the Kindle's going to be able to stop that with an infantry. Probably attack with a tank over there. Huh. Falling backwards even more. Artillery defending. Super defensive. But I don't like that copter play. It didn't make any sense. And now he's suiciding his unit over here. It's not actually a bad idea because it's going to die anyway. I mean, you can move it over here. It's going to die to an artillery. Like, there's no escape. This infantry is just asking to die. Like, no matter where it goes, it's going to get shot by, like, this artillery unless it goes right here. Even then, a tank or something is going to murder it. So you might as well stop this, delay this corner cap going on. So, not a terrible idea. So that's why he attacked the copter. He wants to get a missiles. That's a wonky buy. I wouldn't do this ever. He's gonna have to base skip for one thing, because the missiles has to stay in place in order for it to get the revenge shot. So he did 4 damage to a tank. What's that? 28,000? That's not very much money. 2,800, excuse me. And you're doing a base skip, you're spending 12,000 on this missile. That's probably only gonna one shot off this entirety of the game. Okay. Let's see what Plague can do. He's gonna murder that copter. Boonga! No shot. No shot. Going for the corner property, the mech is finally in play. He's hogging all those properties. He's even going for the middle pressure over here. Like I said, it's not gonna work, but he can go for it for now, just to like, oh, I might do it. Oh, I might do it. And then you just fall back. I don't think he's going to go for these properties. It just doesn't make sense. So he's going to be, oh, I might do it. Oh, don't make me do it. But usually it never works. So usually it never works. That's a nice contradiction. So these are 2 free hits on the infantry, and there's nothing you can really do about it. He can withdraw this and attack with a tank, but he has a copter over here. This artillery is probably going to move into position as well, right there. So the revenge hit is not going to be pretty. So I'm really liking Plague's play so far. His base skips are kind of goofy and weird, but his positioning is quite good. I really like his tactical moves. And he builds a bomber. I like his tactical moves. I'm not liking his macro. That's what I'm going to say. This bomber makes no sense. There's no teched up units. There is no medium tanks. There's no neo tanks. Like, what is this bomber going to do? He's just going to build another anti-air. That's all he needs to do to address this bomber. And then you're going to have a superpower coming up soon, so you're going to lose a lot of money on that teched up bomber. There's no reason to tech up right now, unless you're building a neo tank over here maybe, which is not a terrible idea, but honestly, I wouldn't tech up very much on this map at all, because there's so much artillery. Building a medium tank and neo tank doesn't really make much sense. Stick to the artillery, stick to the tanks, stick to the copters. You should be good as gold. And APCs and mechs too if you want to. But this bomber doesn't really make too much sense. I guess he wants to spam 3 infantry, get his unit count up maybe. But it's a little questionable. Let's look at the stats real quick. We do have 4 deaths to 0 kills. So Goonie over here lost recon, copter, 2 infantry, has killed nothing. I mean, he's got down some stuff to 1 HP, so there's a few infantry that are pretty much near death, but so far, Plague, macro, micro, that's what I'm talking about, boy. So, sometimes people be like that. Boom, but now, misses gets his 1 and only kill of the game, most likely. Builds another copter as Drake. This guy loves his copter. You gotta build an anti-air at one of these bases, though. There's gotta be an anti-air. You see this bomber? Probably this base right here, anti-air. He's shifting to the middle because he sees a little bit of a threat, so maybe this worked. It's a nice distraction, and then he strikes over here. So that might be just a little diversion. Oh, I'm over here, hee. Pull back over here, attack! Like, that's not a bad move over here. This is some mind games going on. This is a higher level game we're talking about right here. Capture this property while you distract in the middle. Instead of all these bunched up units for green over here that can pounce at any time, no, they're spread out thin in the middle now. And like I said, as Drake, you want to have more units. You want this game to drag on and be nice and stally. Purple is not trying to have that stalliness. He's trying to poke and prod at Goonie over there. Make him spread out a bit, have to address the threat in the middle, have to address the threat on the side, have to address this threat over here. He's spreading out. He's not going strong side, weak side that much. He's going weak side's pretty decent over here, strong side's pretty strong over here. He's not going all out on one side and a little bit on the other side. He's spreading thin. He's dabbling, but it actually works in his favor as Kindle, whereas Drake, Eagle, Stally COs don't have that death ball that discourages any fighting whatsoever, so you can just proliferate and get more and more troops. But you can be dabbling. Okay, there's the stabble and there's the dabble, and I rail against dabbling a lot, especially in Fog. However, if you're an offensive CO playing against a defensive CO, it kind of makes sense to dabble, just to poke and prod at them, make sure they have to dress all over the map, use your map control that you have from having a more aggressive CO, really abuse that map control, and make them have to address a variety of threats, not just one death ball in the center threat. Like, come on. So, anti-air, incoming, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. I knew it. It just, when you see a bomber, you need at least 2 anti-airs, because if that bomber one-shots your anti-air, you have nothing. So that bomber actually worked in backing the bluff up, and he actually just lost 2 infantry momentum. He didn't lose them, but the momentum is completely gone. He's going for this side cap. He won't be able to get it because these tanks are going to murder him, and he's going to have an urban plague is up his sleeve. So I don't think I think Purple is going to have control of both of these corner properties. So Plague is playing Goon like a fiddle so far. But Goon's wild. He's got missiles. He's got the Drake superpower come up. He's a 1500 level player. He's nuts. He's a nutty boy. He has no peanut allergy. He is nutty. So let's see what he can do. So Plague, a little conservative over here. He really wants to get this property. He will. Or maybe he'll get a small interrupt, but he'll lose it. Yeah, like I said, he was poking, he was prodding, and Green's like, oh, no, don't touch my properties. He overly freaked out. Like, look, you got easy control of that. Look, you got easy control of that. No worries. There was never really a threat there, but he kind of overreacted, which worked right into the hand of Plague. So I don't really like this over here for Green. He kind of dabbled a bit, and he kind of underestimated by going crazy in the middle. He let up over here. Now look at this. He's got 2 tanks over here, an artillery, a bomber incoming that's completely out of range of his anti-air. So I would withdraw that artillery. It's sad to say, but you're going to have to withdraw that artillery. You don't want a long-term battle over here with this amount of units. But he's going for it. But then you're going to get a free tank hit on this artillery, and you're going to have these copters and stuff streaming in. Okay, there's a few things working in favor of each of them. Number 1, for Green, you have reinforcement time. 2 turns over here, maybe even 1 turn with some units. Nah, maybe not using recons. 2 turns reinforcement. 3 turns reinforcement for purple over here, and it's his weak side. However, he does have a closer airport. So he has a 1 base and an airport versus 2 bases over here. So in the long term, green should win this. However, though it's not working in his favor, is purple's gonna have some nice terrain advantage. If you attack from this forest over here, you can only attack from this plain and these bridges over here, which no one wants to work from those bridges. And also you have the nice tactical attacks from the urban blight. So he's gonna have the nice terrain advantage. And now we're seeing a rockets. Now Drake went completely 180. He went from a recon, beep beep, get out of the way, I'm beeping on all y'all. Now he's going missiles, rockets, proliferation of these long indirect units. I kind of like it. I mean, he's going to lock down these 2 properties, easy peasy. So he's going to maintain that. That's not terrible. Lock down this, maybe move your tanks and shit down over here. I kind of like that. Just have a bunch of indirects and infantry over here, lock that down, shift all your shit down here, and try to win a brawl. That's what I would do if I'm Ainz Goon over here. Shift this copter down here, just have a few indirects, and you should be able to maintain control. You don't need that much. Like, I know it's scary and you're going to lose this, but just maintain the control of these 2. Put an artillery here or artillery here. Have the rockets right in this plane over here, and you should be perfectly fine. No copter's going to get nearby because you have this missile. This is a really reckless missiles, though. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's allowing a hit. Why are you giving up your missiles? It's 1,000. It's $12,000. Why are you sacking your missiles, Goonie? Goon. Why? He's nuts. Goon is nuts. Nuttier than a nutter butter. I swear to God. So, will it pay off? Here comes Bomber. Boonga. You know an Urban Blight's coming because you don't give control of that. Or actually, you can just attack the infantry. Doesn't even matter. So maybe he's not using an Urban Blight. Curious he did not attack in this forest right there. I might have done that instead. He's going to move his artillery here most likely and his infantry right there. So it's going to be perfectly defensive position. Copter there. Ooh. Sacking the copter for... I guess he has the bomber, so he's making... I don't know about that. I don't like that copter being there. He really... There's going to be a way through. You can, like, infantry attack here, infantry attack this. Copter gets killed. Tank goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can attack that. He's going to break through. He's going to kill the copter. He's going to attack that anti-air. He might even get his superpower next turn. Probably not, but it's a possibility. So Goonie's going to have some nice counterplay here. Maybe he wanted some damage on this so he can get his superpower quicker. Maybe that's what the idea was. Take like 7k of damage, gets his charge to zoom up real quickly. I'm surprised Plague didn't use his power right here for defensive reasons. Get the 10%, 10%. He probably would have been able to kill this. And I would have put the tank right there. I don't know why he's not using his power, just holding on to it. I mean, I don't hate it. It's not terrible. And he's building another mech. Why didn't you go for the APC opening, my dude? Why didn't you go for the APC opening if you have these mechs? I know why he's building all these mechs. Days of Ruin. Mechs are cheaper in Days of Ruin. Mechs are better in Days of Ruin. They're $2,500 rather than $3,000. And they're cool. They're a little bit nicer. But in this, they're $3,000. They're not that much better than the infantry. They move 2 spaces. T-copters are not as prevalent in Advanced Wars by Web than they are in Days of Ruin. Not as many T-copters, not as many APCs. So some habits die hard. But now we're seeing a tsunami. Okay, so he's definitely breaking through. The thing is, pro players, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kill the thing first. Kill this one-shot copter first. Then you use Tsunami. You get that free extra 4,500 in damages or kills worth it. So I would have done that first. Interesting. Okay, this is interesting. He's going for this kill on the infantry first. Then he's going to kill the copter. Then he's going to wrap the tank around over here. This is not what What the hell is he doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why is this not killing the copter? Kill the copter. Why is he not doing that? Kill the copter. Bring this infantry over there. Kill the tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Attack this artillery from the city. Bring this other anti-air in the region. Build another anti-air for the bomber. He doesn't even use the power. What is he doing? Goon. You goon, baby. Okay. He's not killing the copter. He is doing some weird shit. He's doing some weird shit, man. I don't know. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not good. And the missile is just like, I don't know what that missile is doing. God knows why I even bought it in the first place and sacked that copter. Okay, this rocket actually makes sense. I kind of like this rocket. It's growing on me like a tumor. So it's not good for you, but it's grown on me just like a tumor. So I kind of like this proliferation. He finally is embracing his Drake role, but this is a weird engagement. I don't really like this. Why didn't he kill the copter? That makes no sense to me. And why didn't he get control of the city? So, although, I mean, it's making Plague retreat, though. Okay, I mean, I guess mission accomplished. I don't know about that, though. It's kind of wonky. You're not going to be able to maintain that long term, so. Can this copter reach, too? Ah, this can barely. But then you have the missiles. Interrupt with this copter, attack right there. No, he has an anti-air right there, though. The anti-air will go in range. Or it should go. Attack. Attack. Then use the missiles again. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's 5. Oh. Missiles are so bad, man. You can't even reach here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my god. Missiles suck so hard. Oh. So you couldn't even attack with the copter. That's why you never build missiles. 4 movement. He can't even cover his own copter attack from here. So if the copter attacks here, the copter can attack from the bottom right here, and it won't reach from here. Or from here, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the copter that attacks from the shoal, aka this one right here, or this one over here, will be perfectly fine. So that's a 101 and why missiles suck a fat one. So let's see what Goonie can do. He's really going for that corner property. It's going to be difficult. He's going for the artillery build, the artillery defense, which is fine. He's Drake. He's role-playing. I'd be a little careful over here, though. This is not a very good wall. And there is a Kindle superpower / power incoming. And we do have a 6K income lead. At the beginning of the game, I said 4K is probably the tops of it. 2K, you're doing good. 0K, props to you. You're probably going to win as Drake. 2K, you're like, okay. 4K, you're like, this is the most I can do. 6K, you're like, okay. He can afford a Neo tank every turn. I cannot. He can afford a bomber every turn. I cannot. He can afford 3 tanks every turn. I cannot. So he can afford 2 tanks, a copter, and an infantry every turn. I cannot. So I start to worry. You need to have some counterplay. That's why he's really desperately going for this property over here. Lower to a 4K rather than 6K. He's going nuts. But he's not going to get that with an Urban Blight with the copters and the bomber and stuff hovering around. So and he's moving the rockets over here to the middle. Like I said, he's playing them like a fiddle. DaysofPlague over there. You go in the center premise, he's like, oh, I gotta go over here to defend the center. And then you push over here. And you push down here. It's just working every time. So I hate that missiles. That missiles is so bad. So now he's, like I said, he's consolidating over here. He sees the withdrawing. Now you can put your little artillery over here. You can heal it up. You can move your mech into play. You can move your infantry. You can think about controlling that soon. You can think about an HQ cap soon. This thing is in preparation for using a power, one-shotting one of those infantry, and then a tank coming in and plowing through that artillery. So you have to be careful about that. So far, if I'm Plague, I'm liking life right now. Ooh, I do not like this. What is he doing? This withdrawal. What are you doing? You're gonna lose that. You're gonna lose that. Why are you moving these infantry here? I do not like that at all. He might even use a superpower right here and blast through all of those units. Is he gonna use a superpower? I don't think he even needs to. I think he can get through that very easily. This is a very bad wall. I hate this wall. He's got numbers. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tanks versus 1, 2, 3. 3 tanks. 8 versus 3 tanks. But you got a power coming up. These positions, I hate it. I think he's going to get it through so easily. I would have fallen back, built up these artillery even more, then had a little chip shots here and there. You're behind 6K, maybe you get something. Blast you through with your superpower, then you go for the map controller, then you go for the extra properties. But he's going to get right through this super easy. He's going to go for the super, it looks like. Ooh, high society. A rare Kindle Super. You don't see Kindle Supers very often, but he's got 26 properties. These guys are going to do a lot of damage. Let's see the damage numbers. 3 HP artillery. Boonga. That says a lot. Tank. Boonga. Oh, that's going to be a one-shot probably. Boonga. Oh, man. Murdering this guy. Murdering this infantry. Murdering that tank right there. Oh, yeah. He's getting clobbered. High Society in this case makes some pretty decent sense. Murdered him over here. Now you have to withdraw. You can't fight into this. The counterattack's going to be strong. You have 3 tanks whooping his 8 tank ass over here. I mean, these 3 tanks are over here out of position. But still, it was still 5 tanks versus 3 tanks, and they're getting their ass whooped. Those ass cheeks are getting whooped over there. And we're seeing a rocket. We're seeing double rockets in the pocket in this map. We have an offensive rocket on the strong side. I haven't seen that before. I've seen the defensive rocket. I've seen the defensive missiles apparently now. But offensive rocket, he's a little bit of a flexing right now. What's Goonie going to do, though? He's going to have a superpower, so he's going to have some counterplay. Ooh, look at that. Do a measly 4 damage. Take 1 back from the High Society. He's fighting into the High Society, though. He's fighting into it. He's getting some kills, but, oof. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Just don't use your power. You need the superpower. I think these units are going to get massacred. There's a bomber in play. You probably can kill off this anti-air block with 3 units over here, and then you can never get a kill on that bomber. I think there's some counterplay here where you can block. Like you, let's see here. Artillery kills the tank. Kill the tank with the tanks. Murder that artillery or anti-air right there. Put a unit in the forest. Put a unit in the shoal. Okay, let's see what he does. Yeah. Okay, he kills the tank. There's no way you're reaching that bomber. There's no way you're reaching that bomber. You can get the kill on this battlecopter with the anti-air, but you're not reaching the bomber. That's a free bomber kill right there. You can just tell looking at this, like there's a way to get by it and just murder all the units and get the bomber to safety. So Plague and Goonie is, oh, he only needs 2 to cap that too. He only needs 2 and he has 1 HP. Oh, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. He's so close to the 4K. He's so close to the 4K. ¿Por qué Jorge no 4K? ¿Por qué Jorge no 4K? Sorry, that I don't know. Ignore me. Anyway, mechs are coming into play. The 2 mechs, they haven't done shit. I mean, they've had offensive pressure. You can attack it over here, sure, but you're gonna get blasted to Kingdom Come by that artillery. Plague is really playing very well with the macro, and now he's built. I mean, the macro bomber first. I mean, Goon has not been really playing this very well in terms of abusing that bomber over there. He hasn't really been able to take advantage of the sunk cost that the bomber costs. And now he's forcing... The stealth is actually not too terrible for a couple reasons why. He's ahead 26,000 to 20,000, which forces a Drake fighter, which suck a fat one. They won't even one-shot the stealth. The fighter will probably do like 80%, 70% of the stealth. And it's 20k. And he's gonna have repairs, so he's gonna have to base skip in order to get that fighter. And then hell, you're probably gonna use an Urban Blight, bring that fighter down to 7 HP, make another 4,000 in funds right there to heal up that fighter. And it's gonna be at 9 HP. It might even lose 9 HP versus a full HP copter. I mean, 9 HP Drake fighter versus a full HP Kindle stealth. Like, it's gonna be a closer fight than you think. So we're seeing a Typhoon finally. This is his last hope and dreams right here. Typhoon! Will he be able to reach this copter? I mean, this bomber. If he can't reach this bomber, it's probably game over. So he needs to reach that bomber. Stakes is high. Will he be able to do it? Boonga. I think he might. Will he? He's gonna have to sack the tank into that. Attack with the cop. Oh, I think he might be able to. Barely. Ooh. Will he do it? Will he get it? Oh, he got it. He got the bomber. Bomber's out, boys. The bomber is out. Gaines' old goon is alive. The Goonie. The straight up goon is alive. And he has 3 weakened artillery, but you know, he's still in it. He did 8 damage. I mean, everything has 8 damage done to it. He's going to build a fighter this turn, no doubt. He sees that. Okay, he's not building the fighter yet. Maybe next turn he's saving up a little money so he doesn't have to base skip. Which is fine. You don't have to freak out. It takes like 2 to 3 turns for the stealth to get into fighting position. So, like I said, okay, it's not terrible. You don't have to get a fighter immediately. It's not on the front lines. Just like I said, our airport is in the middle and a little in the back, so it takes a few turns for it to reinforce. I'm wondering if it's going to go to the side over here or it's going to go north over here. probably gonna go... I don't know, it's looking a little shitty over here for purple right now. Purple might have to retreat. He's got nice artillery walls, but he's got tank numbers, so green's looking good over here. Looking like shit over here. So green's got some counterplay. Goon's alive. The Goon's alive. Urban Blight incoming. About to do a lot of damn damage. And by a lot, I mean not any at all. For 4,000 or 5,000 in damage. Yeah, that sucked. That was a really bad one. Damages artillery, damages tank, and damages infantry. That is literally it. So, but it does do this. One shot. Boom! 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 The copter coming in. Boom! Oh, there you know. 100 damage Drake copter now. 100% damage. Because it does have the power right now, the superpower, excuse me, and the comp tower. So it moves from 80% to 90% to 100%. So it is a normal copter with 10% extra defense. So it's actually doing pretty well. So what is Goon going to do here? And what is Plague going to do, actually? Plague is, he was looking pretty good to this last turn. He's teching up. He might need to retreat over here. Kill the copter with this copter plus this artillery plus this infantry right there. Get the tank in. Kill this artillery. Like, it's not looking too bad, actually. Let's see what he can do. The stealth goes to the side. He's getting desperate now. You gotta build a fighter this turn. So, what will the Goon do? He's not looking too bad. He looked a lot hairier earlier. He's withdrawing in the middle. He's really scared about the middle right now. I don't like this move by Plague over here. He had good micro before, but now he's going in the center when he should be pushing over here. Imagine these units on the side over here. Imagine these units on the side over here. I guess there's the rockets over here. I probably would have front shifted all my units down here and just had a big blast over here. Attack over here in this general vicinity, maybe down here in this vicinity. Just push everything here if I'm Plague. Because you got this lockdown rocket over here, and there's no way it's going to go all the way from up here down here. Same goes with the missile. I see a rocket, I see a missile, I see 2 artilleries over here. I'm front shifting, excuse me. Excuse-moi, I'm shifting all my shit down over here. Keep your rocket over here to maintain control of these properties, but other than that, front shift all your little schlop down here. All your subway schlop, bring it down over here, clean up all these scraps. Have a nice little scrappy fight over there. But now, Green's gonna have a nice little offensive over here. Won't be able to kill the copter, it seems, though. Not attacking into it. I would attack this artillery right there. Go for the kill on this copter. Probably won't get it, but go for it anyway. I don't like that. He's being really passive. I don't like that. Alright. But to each their own. I would have gone a little more offensive right there, but now we got Plague over in the middle. He's really... If I'm Plague, you're throwing away the game by going in the middle like this. I don't know. I don't like it. I mean, he's got this huge income advantage, though, but... And he's got a good unit advantage, too, excuse me. He's got 20 deaths for Goon versus only 14 kills. But look at the kills and damage-wise. Look at all the damage. He's done 30,000 more damage because of the Typhoon, because of the Squall, or whatever the hell they're calling it these days. I think they call it Squall, because they canceled calling it Tsunami or something. I personally found it offensive. So, anyway, Plague has the numbers. And Goon resigns. I didn't see that coming. I thought Goon, you're fine, dude. What are you doing? Goonie. I didn't even see that coming. It's only day 20. I thought the other went on longer than this. Okay, well anyway. That was an abrupt ending, but I do think Plague is winning at this point, but I don't think it's all is lost, especially since you're Drake and you're playing defensive. Bring your fighter over here, kill off the stealth, have these artillery in position, heal all these bad boys up, try to get this property over here, make it 4K. You're not going to allow this, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 1 turn reinforcement for medium tanks. I don't see this going well for purple if he pushes that far. And this is going to be a lockdown. Like, there's no hope. So I don't know why he gave up so easily, because Plague was misplaying in the middle. He went way too all out in the middle. Should have pushed all the slop down here. He's starting to front shift a bit. I mean, at least he moved it down here, but he should have gone further. I would have shifted even further down here. Maybe he had that in mind and wanted to go in the middle early. I'm not entirely sure. But I think Plague played this very well micro. Macro, the base skips, the bomber. The bomber worked out in the end because Goon kind of misplayed a bit. But honestly, that bomber should have not done very much damage at all. Maybe kill off 1 tank and died. if you play optimally as green in this situation. So I do not really agree that much with the bomber. He tucked up for no reason. I mean, green didn't tuck up at all except for the rockets the entirety of the game. The rockets and the missiles and the fighter. He never built a medium tank. He never built a neo tank. Never built a bomber or anything of the sort. So I don't really know why purple did go for that bomber, but he wasn't punished for it, so he got away with it. It's a very artillery-heavy game. Artillery, rockets, but they also went for it later than I would have thought. Usually day 5, 6, 7, you go for the artillery, but there was a bit of a delay in the artillery. You see how the first artillery was by purple. And it was, what? Day 8? Pretty late. He built even a stupid mech before that. And it took until day 9 for green to get his first artillery. Imagine a little earlier artillery pressure. He wouldn't even have allowed that. Imagine artillery a little earlier, sitting in this forest over here, not even allowing that corner property. So yeah, imagine day 6. Day 6, it would have been down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 turns, you're over there, you're interrupting, and you're not getting that the little property in the corner. And that's the whole thing. 26,000 to 20,000 is a big deal. 24,000 to 22,000, or excuse me, 25,000 to 21,000 is not as big a deal. So I would have built the artillery earlier. I think both of them should have built artillery earlier. I didn't like plagues all out in the center. It's like I said, the center, you're not really going to accomplish that much. It's just spacing, really. You want to go all out in these. But Plague was able to hold on to that property for the longest time. It mattered in the end. And then, yeah, it was a bit of a proliferation. I think Goon definitely resigned way too early. I think he had some fighting chances. I think he had like a 35 to 65% chance. Like 35% chance he wins, 65% chance he loses. But still, that's still a pretty decent fighting shot. It's not like it was a 90-10% chance or anything like that. He has the Drake power. He has a stealth. It's not a very good investment in the end anyway. He's going to have a fighter that will take care of the stealth as well. Plague's units were mispositioned in the center over there, probably not going to accomplish that much. He was behind on unit counts, but still, I would have kept going if I were him. So Goon gave up a little early, but these are both 1500 level players. Maybe he saw something I didn't see. It wasn't looking great, but still, you got to keep fighting for this stuff. But then again, these are higher level games. It gets stressful. 20 days of this shit, you probably have like 40 spectators when you're 1500 level, playing another 1500 level player. So a lot of stress. So maybe that's what came down to in the end, stress levels. But these infantry walls over here, I think a lot of hit or misses right here. Like the first one was good. Like right here was bad. Sorry, the first one was bad. He didn't need to use. First off, freaking kill the copter. Kill the copter. Kill the tank with 2 infantry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, how do I get this? No, this one over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Attack the artillery from the city. Attack this tank from this plane over here. You're gonna have all weakened tanks. You're gonna have a weakened artillery. You have a bomber, but you're gonna have 2 anti-air in position. This one will back up this one over here, so you can't even kill the anti-air with the bomber because you're gonna have a backup anti-air. You can build another anti-air that turn. He could have punished him so bad this turn. I feel like Green had some opportunities in his grasp, but he just never really went forth. So that was a blunder of a play. Didn't even kill the copter, just did damage to the artillery. It's just bad. Later on, though, he had some good walls. Like, this one was another bad one right there. It just didn't make sense. Like, just look at this. Like, you can easily tell this infantry's going to die in one shot. Especially with high society. Like, I don't even know if he needed a high society. Just an urban blight would have sufficed, probably. And then you have to retreat as Green right there. He didn't retreat. Got blown out of the water. This one was a better, I mean, it's kind of hard to blunder at this point, but sacked the copter over there in order to kill that tank right there. Perfect. I like this beautiful attack right here. 2 HP, 1 HP, killed it, got the bomber. That was a nice play right there. I like that play from Ainz Goon. But a lot of his other wall breaking and wall creating had a little question marks here. I mean, I don't want to rag on him too hard. He plays probably better than me most of the time. But in this case, I just wanted to point out some of the walls were a little shaky. I don't think you need to use that Typhoon earlier, or Tsunami, or whatever, the Squall. So it wasn't the right call to do the Squall, in my opinion. But in the end, well played to both players. Hope you guys learned something about Sahara. Hope you guys learned something about the Kindle-Drake matchup. Personally, I love playing as Drake versus Kindle. It's just beautiful, especially in Fog. I love putting the onus on my opponent to hurt me, to kill me, and if they blunder that, like if they're not 1500 or above, typically I'm going to favor Drake in these matchups because you have to play perfectly as Kindle typically to win these matchups. Anyway, hope you guys learned something about the matchup, learned something about the map, were entertained, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.